So we can look at Prosus and we're going to look at Santova and just get a general feeling of how to, just research shares and how to get a general feeling of what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to investing, your emotions will determine your decisions, and your decisions will affect the long-term outcome and performance. So that's why it's very important. The only way you can really get a grip and control of your emotions is if you understand what you're doing. So that's why it's very important when people tell you, I just found this company, or I found Bitcoin, or whatever this is, this and this. If you don't truly understand what the company is or why you're investing in the first place, your emotions will get the better of you at some point in the future, whether it's a big headline that pops up. So that's why being in control is so important. So the first phase of being in control is understanding what the company does. So Prosus and Santova are two very different companies. Prosus is big, they are massive, global, huge. Santova is sort of small cap. So let's first look at Prosus. So the first thing you can do is you can literally go onto their website. So I literally just typed in Prosus and I went into their website, which is prosus.com. And then you can just play around on the website. So on all these listed companies, you'll find about, you'll find what they are doing, you'll find the investors, investor relations button or whatever, where you can just find out what the company does. So if you go on prosus.com and you click on the about, first of all, you'll see at the top of the screen, it says Prosus US $5 billion share buyback. Now, first of all, what a share buyback means is the company is buying back of its own shares. And there's many reasons why directors would sell shares, but there's only one main reason why directors or the company itself would buy shares, and that is if they believe the company will be more in the future than what it is worth today. So Prosus, they made a decision. They are buying back of their own shares because they believe in the company, they believe in the long-term aspects, so they are investing by buying back of their own shares. So that is a great thing to see as a shareholder when the company is buying back its own shares. So let's go back to the about page. Then you go there and you see Prosus is a global consumer internet group and one of the largest technology investors in the world. So straight away they are global, they are focused on technology, and then you go on. Operating and investing globally in markets with long-term growth potential, Prosus builds leading consumer internet companies that empower people and enrich communities. Okay, cool. It doesn't say much there. Then we get to our strategy, and then it gets interesting because then you can see what their strategy is. And then it says here, we believe in the power of local backed by global scale, and we look for opportunities to address big societal needs in markets where we see the greatest growth potential. So we know they invest in companies with growth potential. Okay, we get a better grip now of what they're doing. So they are investors in companies that grow. Then obviously Prosus is known for, Prosus came out of Naspers, and Naspers' big investment was in Tencent. So that's how they got so big. So they invest in growing companies. Then you look at the companies just there. You can see they are investing in payments and fintech. They are investing in food delivery. They are investing in social and internet platforms, in travel, in e-tail. So okay, they are everywhere. So you basically know if you invest in Prosus, you are investing in a big diversified portfolio. So then you can just scroll around here. Which are these companies? So in the payments and fintech, you get. So what it means is when you buy a Prosus share, you automatically get access to all these companies that they are invested in. So if you buy a Prosus share, you get access to Auto Trader, Avito, Brainly, Code Academy, which is also quite big. You get access to Delivery Hero, which is growing tremendously. You get access to PayU. You get access to Tencent, which I spoke about. Udemy, which is very big. PayU, which is very big. OLX. So they are everywhere. and they are in industries that I personally like. So I enjoy, or I believe there's a big future for payments and fintech. I believe there's a lot of opportunity for food delivery. I mean, if you just look how many people are starting to order online using Uber Eats, using Mr. Delivery. And this is a global trend, as people are still, 2020 transformed the way people do things, the way people think. So where people used to, go to the restaurants, people still do that, but people are very likely to now order online and create that restaurant experience from home. So you get, access to all these various ventures, which is great. And then you can always look at the management. So there you see Bob van Dijk, you see Basil Skordis, I don't know how you say his surname, and you can just look at all the directors. Usually you can just literally Google the director's name and see the history and see if they have a history of actually doing things successful. You can look at their history as a company. So obviously Naspers and Prosus has a great history, as they've made incredible investments, including Tencent and like Delivery Hero, which is growing. So yeah, it's a great company from the first look of it. Just to put it out there, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just, talking around, seeing how we can do this as a normal retail investor like myself, like you guys. So that's just the about page. Already you understand what the company does. You understand what you get access to if you invest in them. You already see there that they are buying back their own shares, which is a great positive and confidence booster. Okay, great. Now you can move on. Then you can go to news, and you can see the various articles. You can see what people, there they speak about the updates on the share buyback. You can look at the results. You can look at, Prosus and Naspers appoint new global head of sustainability. So all of a sudden, you can look at the media. What is the media saying about the company? Staying updated with the company. Then you can go back to companies. It's basically what we spoke about, their investments. Then there's also ventures, technology, which is just basically where they say we bring key leaders, founders, and experts together to share the latest thinking in technology. And if you look at the companies they invest in, that is really what they're doing. And they are continuously investing in these high growth companies across the globe. They are, so automatically when you invest in Prosus, you get diversification to these companies you would not have access to otherwise. So it's diversification. And second of all, it is also geographical diversification. So company diversification and geographical diversification, as well as industry diversification. So this is very attractive for me. Personally, I'm going to put it out there, I like Prosus a lot, just for these various aspects. You also get a lot of exposure to China, which is a high growth space or geography. Also India, you get to the UK, you get to South Africa, it's just everywhere. But the difference between Naspers and Prosus, Naspers is a bit more South African focused, if I'm not mistaken, where Prosus is more the global vehicle. So first look, you understand what the company does, and you can either then decide you like what they're doing, you see potential in what they're doing, you believe in what they're doing, in the industries are moving in, the locations are moving in, the management, and that gives you a good first understanding. Then you can go deeper, and that's where you click on investors, or there's various resources you can find it. ShareNet is one of them, where you can just get quick updates on when the company is posting a new sense announcement of what they're doing. So if you click on investors, you'll see there is a half year results 2021. Then you can literally click on any of those and just go through all of them. So let's just click here on the Prosus press statement of September 20. Then it's easier, they put it nice there for you. So heading strong performances in uncertain times, and when we go into these numbers, it is truly insane numbers. So let's just go through the summary of this. Was published 23 November last year, and it was for the 6 month ended 30 September. So remember, these are the results even in the time we had of global uncertainty. So Their overall revenues increased by 32% to 12.7 billion US dollars. Now that is insane. That is very, very big. I mean, that's huge. And it's not rands, it's dollars, and it's 12.7 anyway. And they just state there the strong growth across the food delivery, e-tail, and education. So the food delivery, and like I said, people are moving towards this cloud kitchens where you don't have to have a restaurant where people come in. You literally list your own little, in inverted commas, a restaurant, which is just from your home or from a small office, and you list it on Uber Eats or Delivery Hero or Mr. Delivery, and that's where they're investing in heavily. So they saw in their investments in the food delivery space, they saw 141% revenue growth. Huge. That's a positive sign. 70% revenue growth in e-tail. Positive sign. 54% revenue growth in edtech, which is educational technology. So tick, tick, tick. Looking great. Then, trading profit grew by 43% to $2.7 billion. Core headline earnings increased by 29%. So, there's various technical aspects like the free cash flows, the core headline earnings, the trading profit, the revenues. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you just look at the entire picture of it, you just see everything is just growing very fast. And this is a positive sign. I mean, we are not asset managers. We are not, these experts that spend 24/7 looking at all these companies, and it's impossible if that's not a full-time job. So as a retail investor, to just get a grip of where you want to invest or what you're investing in, you can look at these various highlights. The revenues are growing in the various aspects that they are investing in. So the diversified portfolio is growing. The profit is growing. The headline earnings are growing. The free cash flows are growing. So everything is growing. It's a positive sign. You don't have to go into all these. So when you go into deep finance, there are so many ratios. There are asset test ratios. There's current ratios. There's so many ratios, and you don't need to understand all of them. So just look at the overall picture. You know what they are doing. You know where they are going. And then you can just go on deeper. iFood grew revenues by 234%, PayU 48%, Udemy enrollment grew by more than 400%. So you can see that, what they are investing in, it is growing. It is turning out to be good investments. And that gives you that injection of confidence in the management that, okay, look, they are investing in companies, and these companies are doing well. So they are very likely to continue investing in companies that will do well in the future. So that's a confidence booster for me, which I like. And this is just the way you can unpack what a company does when you look at it for the first glance, and just go through, these various headlines. We don't have to go through all of them now. And look at the outlook. What is the management saying? Blah, blah, blah. And you can go on. So that is just on their website. You already get a grip of what they are doing, what it would mean if you invest in them, what you are investing in. You can look at the results, and all of a sudden, by looking at what the management has shown in the results, by all these aspects growing, all of a sudden okay, the management knows how to execute, so they'll probably do it again. This is just from their website. You get a great grip. Then you can go further. You can go the extra mile, and you can literally Google all these various companies that they are investing in. You can, so for example, iFood that they invested in. You can literally type in iFood news. Boom. Then you can go read all the news, and you can literally get a good grip of what each company is doing just by Googling these names and staying updated in the news. And from all these various content resources, you can just read and read and read, and it would all come together nicely, and you'll get a better grip, because you must do whatever you can to understand the company as best as you possibly can. So that is by going through the website, reading what's going on in the news. Then also, one of the best places to find content is YouTube. You can literally go on YouTube and type in these big names. For example, if you type a small cap company like Santova, which we'll just roughly discuss, you're not going to get a lot of content, especially with South African shares. I mean, if Santova was listed in the US, you'd see a ton of YouTubers with thousands of subscribers covering Santova. All of a sudden, the share price goes up because the power of the retail investor will boost the volumes and the demand for the shares and the coverage. Where in South Africa, we don't have that traction yet. Especially with the small cap. So Prosus is quite a big company, but let's stop it in Prosus and let's see what pops up in YouTube. So there you get to see some news of the CEO speaking, and some of it on CNBC Africa, CEO speaking, investment idea. There's stock picks. So there is a bit of content on that. But I mean, if you are an investor with global opportunity and with today's access to information as well, access to markets, you can literally go on YouTube and type in the company you are researching. You can see all the interviews from the CEO. You can see what the company does through other YouTubers covering it. And that will help you get a good grip of what's going on and what they do. And if you like it or not, whether you agree with what they want to do, are they actually able to prove previous assumptions? So let's say if you go back in articles or vision statements from previous financial statements, if they said this is the outlook or this is what we're trying to do from a few years back, take whether or now, did they execute this? If yes, then okay, they've got a good track record. They are very likely to do it again. If they have a bad track record, they'll probably, it could be a sign that, maybe this is not the best management. So if I look at Prosus, the entire picture, I really like what I see. But like I said, this is not advice. This is what I see. So as a retail investor, everyone should always consider, what do I think of this? That's what's be very careful what other people say and think, because that's part of the emotions aspect. So the reason why I like it is they are growing year on year, massive revenues. They are growing those big revenues globally. So when I invest in Prosus, I get company diversification, I get industry diversification, I get geographical diversification. I invest in a management with proven track record. I get access to other companies that I really like, but I wouldn't really have other access to, like Tencent, like iFood, Udemy, PayU, all these companies that I like, but they're not listed on the JSE, or maybe it's not on EasyEquities or eToro or the platform I used to invest on. So I get all these diversification plays. Then I like the management. I like their financials. If you go deeper, which we didn't do now, but they have good cash flows. They are still investing. They are buying back shares, which is a confidence booster. It's a big company. They'll still be there in 10 years' time. And boom, I like this company. I'm going to continue researching it, reading the news, following the relevant aspects, looking at more CEO interviews, but I like the CEO. And that's when you decide, okay, this company is for me, or this company is not for me, and just continue doing deep research. So yeah,